What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword? Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord. Zephaniah, the Lord thy God is in the midst of thee. He will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. Joshua, have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Deuteronomy, and the Lord, he it is that doth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Behold, 1 John, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure. And from Psalms, to the end that my glory may sing praise to thee and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give thanks unto thee forever. Now I'll read from Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures by Mary Baker Eddy. God is love. More than this we cannot ask, higher we cannot look, farther we cannot go. Divine love always has met and always will meet every human need. It is not well to imagine that Jesus demonstrated divine power to heal only for a select number or for a limited period of time, since to all mankind and in every hour, divine love supplies all good. To infinite ever-present love, all is love, and there is no error, no sin, sickness, nor death. Love is impartial and universal in its adaptation and bestowals. It is an open fount which cries, Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters. Let us rid ourselves of the belief that man is separated from God and obey only the divine principle, life and love. Here is a great point of departure for all true spiritual growth. Though the way is dark in mortal sense, divine life and love illumine it, destroy the unrest of mortal thought, the fear of death, and the supposed reality of error. It is ignorance and false belief based on a material sense of things which hide spiritual beauty and goodness. Understanding this, Paul said, neither death nor life, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God. And this is the doctrine of Christian Science, that divine love cannot be deprived of its manifestation or object, that joy cannot be turned into sorrow, for sorrow is not the master of joy, that good can never produce evil, that matter can never produce mind nor life result in death. The perfect man, governed by God, his perfect principle, is sinless and eternal. One day is with the Lord as 1,000 years. 2 Peter 3:8. One moment of divine consciousness or the spiritual understanding of life and love is a foretaste of eternity. This exalted view, obtained and retained when the science of being is understood, would bridge over with life discerned spiritually the interval of death, and man would be in the full consciousness of his immortality and eternal harmony, where sin, sickness, and death are unknown. Heaven is not a locality, but a divine state of mind, in which all the manifestations of mind are harmonious and immortal, because sin is not there, and man is found having no righteousness of his own, but in possession of the mind of the Lord. In the following psalm, one word shows, though faintly, the light which Christian science throws on the scriptures by substituting corporeal sense for incorporeal sense, spiritual sense of deity. Psalms 23. Divine love is my shepherd, I shall not want. Love maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Love leadeth me beside the still waters. Love restoreth my soul. Spiritual sense. Love leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for love is with me. Love's rod and love's staff, they comfort me. Love prepareth a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Love anointeth my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house, the consciousness of love forever. Let's all take a few minutes to pray silently, and then let's all repeat the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is member of our church is going to play a song on her violin. Because we all love Ceacy, and she just has a place in our heart. And so this is a time for you to share a special memory or sweet anecdote, whatever you feel about Ceacy. Let's open up and share, and just enjoy one another here in her celebration.
So much for coming out here. I love being back in Nashville because there's so much history here with my mom and our family roots. I love the stories of her growing up by the river, horseback riding with Ma Then through the farms and the fields, going and doing horse contests and stuff. One of my first realizations of her thing with horses was in the closet in our house when I was about 5 years old. I found a bag. It was full of purple ribbons. I'm like, Mom, why do you have all these purple ribbons? She's like, well, those are from the horse show, honey. And I'm like, well, why are they purple? She's like, well, they used to be blue, but they faded. That was my start with really getting into horses. She taught us all how to horseback ride and shared that passion with us, which usually was good. There was one time where she took us out east of here to go horseback riding an overnight. And of course, everybody loved Ceacy, so the person leading us took us on the royal treatment and gave us a long way out there and everything, which was great. But I hadn't been on a horse in a long time, and there's muscles you use on a horse I'd never used before, which was all fine and good. But the next day we had to ride back, and I did not want to get on that horse again. Like, can we walk back? Those muscles haven't been used in a long time. But yeah, she always got the royal treatment wherever she went, because she really had a way of touching people. And then lately in these last years, she was just so devoted to my father. My dad died about 3 years ago here, and Mom was here the whole time holding his hand and took such good care of him. That love that they had was so inspirational. She just loved Dad to death, and I know she loved Kyle and me and her family as much as she loved him. She was quite a woman, so it was great that I could come down here as much as I could when Dad was here, just to kind of give Mom a break and take her to church or take her out for breakfast or something and give her a little break from that. But after he was gone, I think she was ready to go somewhere else that didn't remind her so much of Dad. So she had to spend some time with Kyle and her grandkids in San Francisco, and I know being close to family meant so much to her. And obviously it was really hard with COVID and everything because it was hard to see her. I was hoping to go out to see her this spring, but in the meantime, I would just, get up and call her. If I was having a rough day or something, I would get our dog, go for a walk, and talk to Mom. And the dog thought it was great because he got really long walks. And Mom thought it was great because we had really long conversations. Yeah, I'm so blessed to have both of those people as parents in my life, and Mom is really, really inspirational for me. So thank you so much for coming here today and sharing this with us. Yeah.
Inspirational woman I've ever known in my life. When I married her brother, she was the very first one to welcome me to the family. I loved her voice and I loved her too.
Thank you so much, Beth.
I'm Margaret Ann. I'm Aunt Ceacy's. She's my aunt. And Vicki, my sister, and I grew up on the farm with Aunt Ceacy. And my first memory, or one of my fondest memories, was she'd be painting her toenails in her room. And she was so sweet to Vicki and I. We were 7, 8 years old. She painted our toenails too. And then I remember things like down in the living room in the old house, the big house, the hutch down there was full of ribbons and trophies, just full. And we'd just stand there and gaze. I mean, Aunt Ceacy won everything in Middle Tennessee and Shelbyville, wherever she shows the best. And the solarium, which was the music room in the house, she would sit at the piano and she would play things like the Yellow Rose of Texas. She was a beautiful pianist as well as an artist, and I don't think a lot of people knew that. Let's see, what else I remember. But anyway, she was a beautiful, lovely, wonderful, spiritual person. I loved her dearly.
I'm the other half of the sisters. Daughters of J.B. Henderson Jr. And Aunt Ceacy, of course, was his younger sister, his only sister. But what I was going to share with you is on the heels of what my sister said. I don't know how old we were when Aunt Ceacy was a stewardess. But what I remember is there was nothing more exciting than Aunt Ceacy coming back. We lived on Wild Acres on the farm where her parents were. And there was nothing more exciting than Aunt Ceacy coming home. And she would always bring some little gift for each of us to have as a memory of her journeys. And it sort of stirs a big passion in you as a child to travel and be just like her.
Yeah.
And in our later years, that's going to be harder. I had the joy of painting with her. And we went to a workshop together, and we sometimes would paint in her home together. And she's the person I'll miss the most sharing my art with.
My name's Ceacy Henderson, and my dad was J.B. Henderson. These are my two older sisters. I have a brother here today. My oldest brother's from Pennsylvania. He couldn't make it. Aunt Ceacy gave me one of the fondest memories I have that I've shared with all three of my kids, which are now adults. We had a family reunion, and I was maybe 7 years old, 6 to 7. I ate way too much as a little boy, and I went upstairs. I got sick, and I went upstairs to one of the rooms that was in this old home, and I laid down on the bed. Aunt Ceacy caught wind that little Tracy was sick. Aunt Ceacy came upstairs, sat down on the bed with me, and said, "When I feel bad, I pray." One of the first memories of me saying a prayer was with my Aunt Ceacy. That was so powerful for me to have that memory, so much so I shared it with Bailey, my oldest daughter. Whenever she would get sick, I did the same thing. Trevor, my middle son, whenever he would get sick, we shared that story. And then my youngest daughter, Gracie. That has always been a very powerful thing in my life. And obviously for each one of us, if you are a prayerful minded person, that's the power God has given each one of us. And my Aunt Ceacy taught me that as a little boy.
Thank you for sharing that.
One thing that's been impactful this week is all the people reaching out and sharing how my mom's touched them. So, and one thing that's sort of amazing was, I mean, I feel blessed to have her mom. I always told mom, I was like, thank you for letting me be your son. But all the people she touched brought people in my life that touched me. So that was a huge blessing. And all the stories, I mean, like everybody talking reminds me of different stories. I mean, like horseback riding, winning the state championship, or being a stewardess and how exotic that must have been. Or like the prayer. I didn't even think about all the healing. There's been countless healings in my life with my mom. Oh, but I guess I'll share one thing that she died. For me, the death was peaceful. It was actually pretty magical. I had a really hard time with her retirement home. They had a COVID lockdown for 4 months, so she couldn't come out for 4 months. Well, she could come out, but she couldn't go back. So,
One-way door.
so just this last week, March 1st, they opened it up. So March 3rd, I took her out and took her over to our house that she'd never seen, and we had dinner at our house and took her back. And the next morning she didn't wake up. She was quote sleeping, and she slept all. So I spent a lot of the day with her there. And then Sunday she was still sleeping, and that was her birthday. So we were gonna take her out for lunch and stuff for her birthday, but we aren't going to now. But I did make arrangements with people to sing happy birthday. So Bess is on the phone, and Charles is on the phone, and one of my mom's dearest friends from the church was in San Francisco, was there. So we sang her happy birthday, and then the lady Susan touched on was at the church here, read about an hour's worth of lyrics from the hymns, the church hymnal. And then last thing did was say the Lord's Prayer, and then her breathing slowed down and stopped. I know she missed my dad a lot, and it was a very peaceful way to go. So, thanks everybody for being here, and thanks for all the memories you're sharing, because it's very touching for me to hear.
I'm Ricky Henderson, JB's middle son. Well, I say middle. So, anyway, if you know JB, you know. Fond memories I have of my aunt. I took my senior trip to Houston. She flew me down, and first time on a commercial plane. Anyway, just had a great time in Houston with her, but in my older adult life, anyway, she came out to my house out in the country, and I'm sure you all know that she's a great artist. I have a painting that she painted for me, and my dining room of my home and the cows in the field, and just the things we can carry with us every day that we may not have here on earth anymore, but we have those memories. And just to be able to walk by that painting every day. I looked at it this morning and showed my little girl that Ceacy painted this for us. And she was a tremendous lady. She will be missed, but the memories are awesome.
I'm Trish Hailey. I'm Kyle's wife, and Ceacy is my mother-in-law. I hate to say was. Excuse me. I have so many wonderful things I could say about Ceacy. I'll say two. So, as many women probably know, you grow up as a little girl and you think about if they'll get married. And somehow it got into my mind that if I did get married, my mother-in-law would probably be horrible. Based on movies and things like that. And so, when I met Ceacy, I knew she was an angel and that I would be blessed if Kyle and I were ever to get married and that she could be in my life. And I already knew I wanted to have children, so the thought that she could be my children's grandmother, I felt so lucky. And sure enough, Kyle and I did. We were already in love, but we didn't fall in and out of love. So we did get married, and Ceacy proved to be a dream of a mother-in-law. And as far apart as we were, we tried to see each other several times a year. She had such an amazing, adventurous spirit. We would take cute little trips together. And yeah, I'm so sad. She moved to San Francisco right before the pandemic, so the dreams that we had were not really fulfilled. I know that she was in peace, and I can say this as well. I won't say too much about my own mom, but she was not what you would think of as a nurturing, loving mom. So when I had my own kids, to pull upon that was challenging, but I knew I didn't want to repeat what had happened in my family. And I used to think about Ceacy, and she became like a ideal motherly love. And I would think sometimes when my kids would do something crazy, there's too many things, I would think, what would Ceacy do? And I would think, oh, I need to give them a hug, and I need to breathe and even call upon the power of prayer. And it worked. It really, really worked. So, thank you so much, Ceacy.
Does anybody else want to share?
I'm Ceacy Henderson. Aunt Ceacy was my great aunt. The rest of my family couldn't be here today, but I was lucky to be able to come down. And as a little girl, I adored Aunt Ceacy. I'm an artist, and she's an artist, and I looked up to her so much. And some of my most magic childhood memories were actually coming out to Tennessee, and my sister and I saw fireflies for the first time at her house, which was like this place of wonder to me. And I'm still so
One, because she was the head of the universe. It was because she was beautiful. And I love the way she always called Ed Daddy. Didn't she? Well, she was a remarkable person to be on a church committee with. She was prayed up. She was generous, patient. You know, the perfect evidence of cooperation. We just love her, and we still do. And we love getting to hear these stories from this wonderful family. We could sit and listen to them all day. Thank you so much.
So we're going to conclude. Marina's going to play another song, and Susan Martin's going to hand out a song. It's In Heavenly Love, and we can all sing it together once everybody gets the words.